Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine.
And I'm Louis.
Welcome to Drink of Thrones, the podcast where we discuss everything Thrones. And of course,
We drink while doing it.
so because this is a drinking show,
Yes, it is.
for today's episode, we do want to make things a little bit more interactive and have you guys join along in the fun. So before we get into our review and discussions of episode 2 for this season, we're going to do a little light round of Game of Thrones trivia. So this segment, we're gonna go ahead and call it "Do You Even Throne, Bro?" So this is gonna be a lightning round. It's gonna be super quick.
Yeah.
So, Louis, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you.
I need courage. Hold on.
Like
Because
a-
I'm nervous about this.
All right,
Okay.
you got it. You ready?
No,
pumped?
As ready as I'm going to be.
All right. So everyone at home, go ahead and follow along. And now would be a good time to pause the video or pause the podcast.
Yeah.
If you're listening at home, go grab your beer, go grab a shot. So
You know, don't pause it. You should have it already.
yeah, you should have it already. That's true.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to be really quick.
Yeah.
So Louis, you're going to get one shot at this.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask you.
I'm fucking sweating. I'm nervous about this. Okay, go.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you 5 questions. You're going to
Okay.
have about 15 seconds. I'm looking at the clock.
Okay.
So once I tell you,
Question. And then-
yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
go move on to the next question.
Hi.
So I'm just going to move on.
All right. Here we go.
So, all right. So these are going to be questions centered around Game of Thrones and the actors that played. So
Okay.
things that happened on set or just things pertaining to the show.
Okay.
Okay. So
the first series Game of Thrones, not House of the Dragons, right now.
yeah, Game of Thrones. This is just a little fun trivia before to get us a little tipsy before we get into the actual discussion. So
Okay.
if you get the majority of the questions right,
Okay.
then I will go ahead and take a shot. So everyone at home, if you're playing with a friend or if you're playing by yourself,
Yeah.
if you get most questions right, then you don't have to take a shot.
I celebrate.
But
take it.
you should take it
Yeah,
anyways.
What are you doing?
But anyways, if you get most of the questions wrong, I'm sorry, if you get most of the questions right, I will take a shot. If you get most of the questions right,
Wrong. I will take a shot.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Simple. If I get a lot of wrong ones, I take the shot. If I win and get most of them right, you take the shot. Bring it on.
yeah, obviously I'm a little tipsy already. Okay. All right, so let's get into it.
Oh,
Question 1.
yes.
Louis, in Game of Thrones, which character or actor appears more than any other cast member on the show?
I want to go with Jon Snow.
Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister.
Fuck.
Question 2.
Yes.
The actor that portrayed King Joffrey was partly influenced in his portrayal by which of Joaquin Phoenix's roles?
The one in Gladiator.
Yes, Commodus in Gladiator. You got it. Okay. Which actor or character had a clause inserted into their contract so that they would never have to share scenes together and to remain apart on set?
Lena Headey, who plays Cersei, hated Bronn. I believe they're in a relationship. So them two.
Do you know what Bron's name is?
I forgot his name.
Jerome Flynn. Justice for Jerome Flynn.
Ah.
Okay. All right. Question 4. Which former U.S. president asked to see the first episode of season 6 before it aired?
Obama.
You got it. Okay. So who in 2018?
Hold on. Is it?
It was Obama, and he.
And I got 3 right already. But let's do it for
Okay,
the glory.
so-
Let's do it for the glory.
Yeah. Let's see if you can get it. If you get all of them right.
I already missed one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had to take a shot too. Okay. In 2018, who was voted the series' most hated character by fans?
2018. Ramsey.
Queen Cersei, actually.
Really?
Yeah, people
Okay.
hated her more,
Okay.
I guess. More than Joffrey.
Well,
more than
I
Ramsay.
I was trying to do the math to see who was still alive in 2018.
She also lasted the longest, right?
I think so. So I was thinking like in 2018, 2019. It was hard to... Anyways, I just made it.
You got it. Okay, so I got to take
You
a
gotta
shot.
take a shot.
I have to take a shot. So all you losers out there, go ahead and take a shot with me.
Yeah. So,
And
ma'am,
thank you for playing.
hold on.
Do you even throne, bro? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take that shot. I really, really thought.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and pour it for me, actually?
Sure.
Thank you. So I really thought that Obama one was gonna get you. Did you just know that, or you guess? Because he's like one of the younger ones, I guess.
Well, the series was. I don't know if it was over when Trump entered the office, but I just figured Obama was the one that was in office. But maybe my math was wrong. I don't know, man.
So they did show him the episode, by the way.
Why?
It doesn't hurt to ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask. You know that
I mean-
Keith Harrington, the guy that played Jon Snow. Oh, hold on.
Kit?
Take your Kit. Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Nice.
take the shot and you can see the story.
Okay. So he got pulled over by a cop. He was speeding, and it was right in between the seasons where they murder him. He gets murdered by the Watch.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. What is it, by the way?
It's
Tequila?
tequila.
Okay. So he gets murdered, and in between those seasons, where people speculated he was gonna somehow survive that and come back, he got off of he got out of the ticket for saying that he would be back. So
Oh, I did hear that.
okay, without any further ado, let's discuss episode 2, the Rogue Prince.
Episode 2, man. It's odd because it seems like we're in the middle of a season, but in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Do you mean because it's just like so action packed, or just not action because they're not fighting quite yet, but you feel the tension, right? Like it could happen at any moment, and there's dragons and
Well, it feels like they're telling us a story about characters we already know, which we don't necessarily know them, right? It's taking me because I'm not familiar. I didn't read the book, which I'm debating if I should. Like the more we move forward, the more I kind of want to know their thoughts. Or I know it's like supposed to be a history book, so everything's supposed to be a little loose or based off of whoever wrote it. But it makes me kind of think, should I be reading the book or should I wait till after? Or I don't know. Anybody that's read them already and is watching the show, I would appreciate some feedback. Like, should I wait or should I read it now? I'm a pretty quick reader, so I think I can get through it pretty fast.
Okay, well, let's discuss the intro. It's the first intro of the season. The other one, the first episode didn't have an intro necessarily. It had like the backstory as how things came to be, right? With the election or the appointing of the current king, but there wasn't that intro, that classic Game of Thrones intro. Excuse me. Jesus. And the song, the classic song, I'm glad it's back. How do you feel about that?
I love that they kept the same song.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same story. It's just shit happens before.
Yeah, of course.
But, it brings you back to that kind of like, I do, at least I know kind of what they're talking. I know some of these people, but not, like I know their families to an extent.
Yeah, but you get the sense that you're entering the same world, right? We discussed this earlier when we were talking about how like, well, all this the Star Wars universe, right? They keep the same intro, and I think it's just the perfect touch. And why mess that up, right? Don't come up with a new intro every song. But anyways, the intro was the first one. It's new. I like it. It's a little bit more dark, more bleak, right? And the blood. I don't know what I get from that. What do you take from the intro?
I mean, I thought it was. I mean, they obviously show certain sigils and things, and the blood running through. It ends. If you notice, it ends with like different lineages pouring blood into the Targaryen sigil at the end. So what I interpreted it as, just like in the first season where they would show you where we were going, I think they show you, and I'm not 100% sure because I don't know everyone's crest yet, or at least I'm not 100% familiar with like autos and stuff like that. But it kind of shows. I thought maybe, because I haven't looked it up, just which houses are going to be involved in this episode, and it again just at the end where it's like running blood. I thought these are the ones that are kind of. Everyone's willing to give up blood or give up their lives for whatever Targaryen they're for, right?
Oh, okay. I think this could be something where it's the same bloodline, and then it's kind of separating in two different directions, and it's kind of picking different ways to go, indicating that maybe there's going to be a split amongst the noble houses and picking a certain Targaryen to follow. That's kind of what I got from it. But let's move on to the next thing. Right off the bat, we have a council meeting, right? And there's once again Rhaenyra, even though she's been pronounced the future heir to the throne, which has never been seen before a female, right, to date. Yet her tasks and duties of the day have not changed. She's still pouring wine for these assholes. They don't even offer her a seat amongst them to prepare her for what shit. The king can die from a paper cut, what it seems to be that's gonna happen tomorrow, and she doesn't even get a seat at the table yet, which I think it's fucking crazy. But
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show that she's still a cupbearer and her ideas or thoughts are disregarded. I mean, Otto telling her, maybe we can use her strengths in something else, which does end up going into something meaningful, right? Who's in the Kingsguard is important.
yeah,
I mean,
but she had a good idea. Even Corlys thought, well, at least somebody's fucking speaking up. And she gets shot down by Otto and her dad, essentially, because he does have final say, but yet I think in this episode we're gonna discuss how time and time again he does prove to be weak and lack some sort of assertiveness. I don't think he's fit to rule. I don't think he's a horrible person, but that doesn't mean you're fit to rule.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I think it's a common theme in this episode. It goes forward. I think at every turn and in every scene, we're reminded of just how weak and unfit he is to be a ruler.
Yeah.
I mean, from the scene where, the maggot scene and all that stuff.
He all he got was a little tiny gash, and he looks like he has a fucking wound from the Civil War.
But okay. Also, just side note, how do you feel about the maggot scenes and like?
I like it.
I love it.
Okay. I don't know if I feel that passionately about but no, I do. I really like it. It's a tiny little detail. It's gross in a cool way.
But it's accurate because back in the medieval, like you're saying, it's a tiny little detail, but it's pretty cool that the directors made that choice because it was accurate. They would use maggots to clean out infections.
Mm-hmm.
They would eat all the dead skin or all the like pussy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you say pussy stuff?
That's what I heard myself and I giggled, but it's probably the tequila. Yeah. So the pussy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta
drink every time you hear me say pussy stuff. Anyways.
Now I just pictured you putting maggots all over your pussy.
That's another kind of pussy stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I thought that was cool, but it goes to show that he's weak. Even not to jump forward, but I'm going to jump forward. I mean, even the fact that he didn't go through with, I mean, when Daemon's out in Dragonstone,
mm-hmm.
and Corlys is telling him like, dude, you look weak because he's been there for 6 months and nothing's happening.
Yeah, the realm is watching Playboy do something about it.
Pretty much. And the fact that Rhaenyra went out before he didn't have the balls to do so.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And I think that shows a dichotomy of like, he's unfit to be king. He doesn't make a good king. Daemon says it himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's the thing he's not good at is being king. And the fact that she's down to do that and makes that choice, even when they kind of told her not to.
Yeah.
That shows true leadership.
Yeah, you can just sit there and think about, oh, should I do it? Should I not? Or you could just act on instinct, and probably a good instinct, by the way. Nothing happened. She her decision to do that spared a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and I think
she got it done.
For sure. Absolutely. And that kind of goes to show for her character and how her character will develop. But I think another slight metaphor on, on Viserys's weakness was if you remember when Alicent and him were discussing, like when his figurine broke and she picked it up uh, to get fixed. I mean, he was looking at it for a long time, but I think him dropping the dragon was a metaphor.
Yes.
Right? Because
I thought the same thing too.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I was like, that makes sense, right? Like Rhaenyra goes, "Hey, you have dragons. You can pull up on these what are they called? The crab
feeders.
The crab feeders. You can pull up on them and
pirates.
Just annihilate them real quick. Like what's the Targaryens' power? In their dragons. It's the only reason they've been able to make it this long.
Remember Olenna from the original series when she tells Daenerys, "You're a dragon. Be a dragon." Right? Yeah. Be a dragon sometimes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Ooh you
bringing
like that?
Back. Yeah. It's the tequila again.
It's all that. Never mind. Talk about pussy. No, I thought of that. I thought that's always a good thing. Sometimes you just have to flex that dragon muscle, man.
Well, I mean, for them, flex it as much as you got it. If it's applicable. In this case, he's weak. She's saying use your dragons. So I really thought that was a nice touch. The fact that they dropped it, it means he's clumsy with it. He's not good at it. He doesn't know how to wield these dragons, and they're his biggest asset.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was a cool touch. But
let's talk about how Rhaenyra then gets she gets told her task to pick out the Kingsguard. Okay, but in that, even though they kind of belittled her a little bit, her opinion and her thoughts, in a way, she still got her way, kind of, where she was like, okay, I'll do this, but I'm fucking picking who I think is the most qualified person for this.
By the way, I really like Rhaenyra's Kingsguard. He seems like a solid dude, and he's like, yeah, that's a good task.
He looks like a buff Sting, like
I could see it. He's handsome.
I'm
gonna say it.
Sting or the Kingsguard?
No, the Kingsguard.
Okay.
Sting is not my type.
You look identical. I would not be surprised if we paid attention. I was like, holy shit, Sting is playing this guy?
I need a side-by-side of that.
Okay, I'll get you one. Okay. Well, maybe we'll put it here.
Yeah, but yeah, so she goes through, they assign her this task.
Yeah, and she picks Kriston Cole.
Hottie Lamati.
Yes.
Hottie with the body.
He's the hottest one of the show. And I'm thinking of all the girls here as a straight dude, believe it or not. And
not to this.
Yeah, they don't believe me. Yeah. But I got really excited when she did that because...
You don't think Otto's the hottest one?
No. That fucking... I don't even know.
His hair, the camera quality is so good now.
He spends no time on his appearance before fucking leaving his...
he's in his high
room.
tower.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh god, it looks like he just fucking flew the dragon,
yeah,
and he didn't even comb his hair.
But anyways. Yeah, so she picks the hottie with experience and a background in war.
So and she's seen him in action as well in the tourney.
Well, she beats Daemon. He beats Daemon.
Yep,
big deal.
So
huge.
My hope is that she learns to perhaps. Wield the sword. Be some sort of a.
You think he's gonna teach her?
It'd be nice.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. No, that's cool. I mean, they're obviously gonna have. There's obviously a mutual respect there already.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how their character development goes through too. But I think, you know what? Now that you're saying that makes a ton of sense.
What do you think they mean with they keep focusing on Alicent's nail and how she picks at them and how they're all bloody and they look like some shitty gums. Why?
I think
there's something there.
Yeah, I think it's to show that. I think it goes back to the gender roles and what these women. I mean, we see it in Rhaenyra, we see it in Rhaenys, which we can get to after this, and we see it in Corlys's daughter too. When there's the whole courting.
Baby Beyonce?
Yeah. So I think we see it in all these women to where they're not necessarily, their actions don't necessarily reflect the choices that they want to make.
No.
Yeah. So I think she's just so anxious and like, she doesn't want to do a lot of these things that she's doing. Like, I don't think she necessarily wants to go to Viserys every night and wear her mom's clothes.
Yeah.
I don't think she necessarily wants to not tell her best friend that she's potentially going to be her new mom.
Yeah. She doesn't necessarily want to hang out with the king and talk about how jazz used to be real music.
Yeah.
And, like, you guys don't know what real music is.
Yeah. I love these figurines too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take them to the stonemason.
But I keep saying
it worked.
She plays the game well. And it worked. So
yeah. So, and I think that's kind of why it is that she does that. But I also think it's a cool little thing that they included. I'm really liking like the little gore elements, like even with the crab feeders at the beginning.
Oh, with the the bug coming out of the guy's foot.
Yeah, and I think Miguel has a back history on like some horror things like that, which kind of shine through. But in something medieval like this, or centered on that, I think it's
Miguel. By the way, is Sapochnik is one of the
new showrunners, right?
One of the new showrunners, also great director from the last series, Winds of Winter. That's when Cersei kills everybody with the wildfire. He directed that, I believe. He directed a Battle of the Bastards. He directed almost every single one that had an epic battle. I think some of them are his. So great guy. That's why I decided to watch the series, because I was really hesitant to like get emotionally invested in this show that kind of broke my heart. But I'm glad that we did so far. So yes, Miguel.
Yeah. So again, I think those elements of like gore or a little like, because all of those episodes, I mean, especially the Battle of the Bastards, right, made you feel uncomfortable or claustrophobic, or made you feel something that was solely to the credit of the directors, really. The placement of the camera or the choices. Because even on Allison's fingers, it looks grosser because they zoom in on it. They give you a shot of it.
Well, yeah.
You know, like as opposed to they could just be like, Otto could just be like, why do you bite your nails? And we would know that she does that.
Yeah.
So I just
go fuck the king.
Yeah. I just think that's pretty cool, though. I'm here for all of that. But going back to just all of the gender roles with and that conversation with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys, that really kind of gives us a viewpoint into somebody that was in the shoes of Rhaenyra, but with a different personality, disposition, and outcome, right?
Yes, I want to say that was probably one of my favorite scenes of the episode. We've been on the first episode. We don't really hear much of Rhaenys. We see her in the back. She has this very stoic look to her, and almost like she's always thinking. She's always analyzing, measuring people up, and that's what I got from when she's looking at. Rhaenyra picked the Kingsguard and how she's a little defiant, and then she says why she's picking, and then they have no choice but to say, of course, right, my lady, and that's what it is. And they have this meeting, this scene together, and I thought it was really good. I don't know how I feel about her. I don't know exactly how she feels about Rhaenyra. I think part of her wants perhaps to be proven wrong, and maybe get a female like ruler, or maybe she. See, I go back and forth.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think first of all, I think she thinks she knows better than this headstrong girl that is literally in the same position as she was. Not literally, right? But
no, it's a little different.
She's got a better running at it.
Yes, as of now.
But I also think she thinks it's comical, or that she's naive to think that she has a real shot. And I think the treatment of Rhaenyra at this point in time is also indicative of Rhaenys' thoughts, right? The men were all treating her like, well, he's going to get married. Your dad's going to get married and you're not going to be the heir.
Yeah.
But we damn well sure know we don't want Daemon to be the heir. And she even says it herself. Like Rhaenyra says, like, he didn't choose me because he believes in me. He chose me to spite Daemon because he was mad that he was talking about his unborn son.
Yeah.
So that goes to the importance of the son, not necessarily his belief in her.
Yeah, it was not. She was. It wasn't like she was the first choice, right? It
And
was all circumstantial.
and is she a real choice?
Yeah, I
And
guess not,
and
right?
so I think that little conversation on the a little conversation that they're having on the balcony
Mm-hmm.
is, I think Rhaenys is a little jealous, first of all, that she's got a better stake in it. But I also think she thinks she's naive. I mean, I think she thinks she knows better. Like, she knows men better. She knows the court better.
But it could be that she does, right? She's gone through this. It's almost like anybody else that when your parents or our parents would say shit to us and like, well, wait till you're my age, wait till you have your kids, wait till this and
but
shit. And then we get a little older, and then we have younger either siblings or family members or just anything that we go like, you think you know better, but you don't. And so it's that same. I think it comes with age and experience. So I think she's sincere about the way she feels, how things are going to turn out for Rhaenyra. Like, yes, I don't think you understand how this works.
yeah,
It's not going to happen.
I agree. Look, I agree with you to an extent. I think she is saying it in that way. She's not necessarily trying to be malicious. But at the same time, I think she is being condescending to her. Like, because, I mean, I don't know, just in the way that she brought it out, I thought it was kind of condescending, like, you think you know better. And she's like, well, you also don't know me. I'm not you.
Yeah.
And this is a different situation. I mean, your parents tell you can't be podcasters. All of a sudden,
Yeah. Look at us.
look at us now.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, we can afford microphones.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a little animosity there, but only because she
You see animosity?
a little bit. It's not crazy. Like,
I could see I could see a little bit of envy. I don't know if it's gotten to that point yet.
I think I think she is envious. I think she's not telling her like, "Hey, I've been through this. These are some pointers to maybe break the wheel or to make a difference, or maybe what I wish I could have done, or your dad is different than my dad." There was no advice given. There was you think, like, I know better than you. Like, you think you have an actual shot. You don't know how the world works, honey. Like, that's the view I got. But maybe she'll develop different. This is their first interaction.
I mean, she
Really.
did give that. I do think she was that, but not as Devil Wears Prada energy like you just did.
No, that's it. That's all.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I did like that scene, and I kind of want to see how what's in store with them too. I really do.
Yeah.
And
But
then what else?
The most, I mean, can we talk about the most epic scene
Yes,
with yeah, I think you know.
the dragons.
The dragons.
Yes. First off, I don't like Daemon's dragon.
You don't?
He looks like a dragon fucked a giraffe. No, I don't like it.
Drago. I can't say. I was trying to mix dragon and giraffe, but.
And then like the baby from the dragon and the giraffe, then fuck Clifford the dog, and they made that fucking thing.
I thought more
it
Land
is.
Before Time, Littlefoot, but I don't want to. I don't want to. It was such a sad movie.
Yeah, it's a very sad movie.
Tragic.
But, I mean,
I don't want to go back there.
but Game of Thrones could be.
I think
tragic,
he looks
so-
cool. I mean, I think he looks fine, but I do like Rhaenyra's dragon better.
Yeah, he just feels like I don't know, man.
Well,
Like,
he's supposed to be deformed and like a misfit, like Daemon.
gotcha.
You know,
And look, he's cool enough. He's a dragon.
he's also supposed to be, I think, like untamable, but obviously,
Well, we'll see.
you
Right,
know.
we'll see how they kind of, what kind of stuff they write for those two dragons and what's gonna kind of take place. But
So okay, so
we have the dragons, but the shot where Cyrax.
so I guess what happens? They decide to. Daemon steals the egg.
Yes,
Steals the egg that was supposed to be Viserys's son's. The egg that his next dragon, right? It was gonna be in the crib.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the dragon meant for him. apparently Rhaenyra chose that dragon egg for her little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And as a power move, because Daemon obviously, he's one of those kids that wants to get the attention of his brother, or in this case, like that's the only family he has.
You know what he is? He's the kid that when you're playing like a fighting game, and you're playing, let's say you're playing a fighting game and you beat somebody with the character.
You don't play right.
No, well, not just that. The next time you play, he gets the same character. Oh, you beat him with Ryu, he's gonna take and he's gonna pick Ryu too. And you're like, come on, dude, you fucking are fine, Damien. Take that dragon egg if that's the one you want. You know what I mean? So, anyways, she
yeah. So he's acting out, and that obviously that's a trigger for Viserys, because anytime Daemon acts out, he wants to show him, like, you can't do that. I'm the king. So he says he's gonna rush out and go to Dragonstone. Otto says, no, you're not. You're too valuable. So he's like, fine. I guess I won't.
You won't go without fucking my daughter first.
Fine. And then Rhaenyra's like, you have dragon riders. Like, let's go. And he's like, no. And then Otto's like, I'll go. So they proceed to go out there. So it's Otto against Daemon. He has the dragon egg. Otto's spewing all this bullshit. Like, right? Because Daemon's telling him that he has his family. He wanted it for his kid. For... What's his mistress?
The name escapes me at this time, but his whole.
Well, that's what Otto said.
Is it whole?
That's what Otto said. I was trying to clean it up with mistress.
I know, but in either case, it's not going well for Otto.
Side note: how bad is the mistress's accent?
I don't even know where she's from.
It's just making me crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's so bad. I thought I was because I wasn't looking at the screen that second, and I thought like Miss Cleo was on for a second.
Yeah, it was not good. I couldn't. I was like, what the fuck? Where's she from, dude?
Well, she's supposed to be like from the Free Cities or something, but it still was so out of place. We've never heard that in the world of Westeros. I just think they could have. It just didn't sound good. I also couldn't understand half of it.
I would, if she would have auditioned in front of me, I would have been okay.
And I
had after the first line.
And I had
thank
subtitles.
you for coming. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it. It felt forced. It felt like it wasn't really.
It was out of place.
Yes.
But let's move along. I just wanted to bring it on. So okay, face off.
Face off. Not going well for Hightower.
Pull out their swords.
Here comes the dragon, a long neck dragon, and obviously they're scared shitless, as I think almost anybody would be. And then you look in the clouds, you see like a ripple, like the clouds just parting a little bit, and then here comes Rhaenyra, fucking to save the day. So epic, yeah. It was like she could have been like riding with the devil, just like fucking bumping that, and then she gets out, passes everybody, get the fuck out of the way, and Otto tries to tell her something, and she's like, yo, bro, please fucking comb your hair.
Nobody can tell him shit. Nobody can tell her shit at this point.
Yeah. You see that guy? Because that's what she said. So that Sir Kristen Cole escort you, and then she said that their dragon's very protective, so take it easy, dude.
Yeah.
So she went by herself, and then she got the job done. And once again, we see this... we see Daemon and her like have this weird connection, man. They understand each other.
Well, she's the only one of the only people I think that can tell him something where he actually feels it, right? Where
he kind of listens to her a little bit.
He respects her. I think he also sees, I think, a little bit of himself in her, because both of them are supposed to be at least have some kind of running or some kind of like running for the throne, or say in, they're both potential heirs essentially, right? So but really, are they? Because they're both second best. Like, Rhaenyra is a woman, Daemon's like the wild brother, black sheep. So really, they're like, hey, you guys are all second, third choices. We really just want a male heir from this.
Yeah, it's not what we want. You guys are all there as a backup, right? Ideally, the king wants a son. It hasn't happened yet. The trailer shows that it's probably gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? And so that's gonna kind of set a chain of events that we're excited to see. But in either case, they do have a connection. I'm interested to see how that their relationship evolves as the story goes on. Because I don't see at this moment, I don't see him really wanting to, if the king dies or something, I don't see him really wanted to go to war with Rhaenyra. I think it would pain him, and in a way her too. But I think she would stand her ground.
Well, I mean, she tells him, right? Like, hey, if it bothers you that the claim to the throne is no longer yours,
Yeah.
end me now.
Stop being such a pussy and
Right.
put maggots on your puss.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like, just end me now then. But he doesn't want to do that. But I also think he's figuring out what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he knows. I think he knows that
he's just like, fuck, I don't know, man. I just took my mom's car and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's like
I don't even have gas money.
He's in college and he's finished all his GEs.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you going to do? You're spending all
what's your
this
major?
money.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't really know.
I don't know. I'm going to take hip hop dance.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, at the same time, I don't think he really knows.
Yeah.
But I also think we'll see that. I think at the end of the day, he'll figure out if he really does want to go for the throne. Rhaenyra obviously is down to do that. I think he's down to do that too. So we'll see how that face-off goes in the future, especially going into, like you were saying, the preview and the king's choices and his new alliances that we've seen.
But let's now talk about the one of the last scenes, if not the last scene. The Corlys gets upset. The king picks the king picks a future bride, and it's Alicent. And just when he got the green light from his daughter, from Rhaenyra, it's just like, hey, I understand your duties to the realm. Mom would have understood that just as I do. Fucking so mature.
Also,
what a cool fucking daughter.
At the same time.
But didn't know.
Didn't yet, keeping in mind that she thought he was gonna make one decision.
Oh, you're fucking my best friend. That's the conversation she didn't know she was gonna have to have. So
the question she didn't know she should have asked.
Yeah. So they're at the another meeting, and then she's like, she gives him a nod. Oh, go ahead, Dad. You got this. Yes, you have to. And then he fucking says he's gonna marry Alicent, her best friend. And she just feels so betrayed. But before she feels betrayed, or before she storms out, obviously Corlys speaks up, and we know that's not going to be something good. We know it. He has, I think, the richest family, and he leads his fleet, which is a great asset for the kingdom. And he just pissed this guy off. Not a very smart move.
Well, we've obviously noticed Viserys isn't the best king. Everyone told him, yeah, dude, he's giving you a shot to make a great choice. Everyone, even Otto couldn't argue. Obviously, he was trying to be like, I wouldn't want to be in your place.
Yeah.
Like, and have to choose so soon after, because he wants him to bone his daughter. But obviously, even the maester, he couldn't argue with the maester being like, well, yeah, that's sound advice, I guess. And then the other dude that he brought in later was like, hey, let me ask you. Yeah, dude, honestly, it's a solid choice. She'll grow. I know she's little, but she won't be for long. I mean, it's the best choice for the realm. It's not what you want to do. It's what you should do.
Yeah, I agree. He fucked up right there. And obviously that's going to lead to major conflict. But then we see Corlys storms out. So does, shortly after that, so does Rhaenyra. Then we see Corlys meeting with somebody. We don't know, as he's talking to this person, they're zoomed in on Corlys. Then you see they switch shots, and it turns out that he's trying to form an alliance with Daemon, of course. It's a logical thing to do. He just pissed off both of them with somewhat power. One of them with, a fleet, the other one with a dragon. It's just a recipe for disaster what he just did. And yeah, but once again, there in that interaction, you see that Corlys is talking about the king, and Daemon kind of puts a stop to that real quick. Hey, I can say whatever I want about my brother, but not you.
And I think also if we know one thing, it's that Corlys is a little shit talker too.
A little bit.
I
but
mean, we're
he seems to be
two
also
episodes in, but
yeah. He doesn't shy away from his opinion. That's for sure.
I do think he's a smart guy too.
But then we see, then we see what might happen in the next episode, and I think we're gonna have our first battle, right? For lack of a better terms, because aside from the tourney and then the Golden Cloaks fucking butchering people, I don't think there was an actual battle.
No, not yet.
I think they're gonna team up and do something about them pirates, and I think the reason they're doing that is to gain popularity amongst the realm. Like, oh, look at Daemon and Corlys actually did something about this.
Corlys said, if you want to solidify your power, because right now they're just kind of sitting pretty trying to pick a wife.
Yeah.
And he's not going to choose the right wife.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So that's already something that's going to go against Viserys.
Mm-hmm.
He already chose a woman as his heir.
Yeah.
That's going to go against him too. So he's like, hey, if you want to actually do something that's going to fucking help the realm,
mm-hmm.
let's get at these pirates. And he's definitely thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but
So-
I'm curious. I'm like excited to see
The
next week's episode.
Me too. Can't wait.
I want to see the pirates and the lore and like all of that too, because it looks really cool so far.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what I think is going to be the first battle, first conflict of the series. So I'm excited to do that. But that wraps up our show, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We're also on audio. So if you just want to listen to it again and not necessarily watch, we're on Apple Podcasts, anywhere, Spotify, anywhere you find your podcasts. Okay. Anything you want to say, Jazz?
I think that's pretty much it. But if Lou wants to take a shot, because I took one at the beginning,
Okay.
I did pour us another one into a.
Okay. Well.
I did ice another one just in case.
Well.
But if you want to be a little pussy.
And no.
I meant like the puss.
It's pus, baby, pus.
Pussy.
There you go.
To pussy. To
puss.
puss.
Pussy.
Pussy.
Here we go.
Woo.
Ooh. That'll grow some
I
hair on
know.
your pussy.
Oh.
All right, guys.
You didn't have it already. All right, everyone.
Have a good one.
Stay tight.
Bye-bye.